Hi, I'm Frances, and welcome to my channel. I have just finished Shirley Jackson's book, The Sundial. This is the fourth book that I have read by Shirley Jackson. I've sort of just discovered her, and I'm crazy about her. But anyway, so I wanted to do a quick review of this book. Um, I would say on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it again, maybe a 3.5. I think I gave Hangs a Man a 3.5 also, which I just finished before this, which does not mean that I do not love Shirley Jackson, love her writing. I really was expecting to love this book. The premise of the book, um, I thought the timing was perfect as we wait on Comet 3I Atlas to come and obliterate us all or whatever's going to happen. I thought it was really good timing to read this book as Comet 3I Atlas approaches because it is about the Halloran family that live in the Halloran mansion. And so there's some similarities sort of to We Have Always Lived in the Castle in that they live in a big mansion. They're sort of cut off from the villagers in the outside world, but it's a totally different book. But during a funeral, Aunt Fanny wanders off into the garden where she is given a prophecy by her long dead father that the apocalypse is coming and everyone inside of the house, the mansion they live in, will be saved, but everyone outside will not be spared. So, and he gives her the date. And so I love the premise of that. I was very excited to read it. Unfortunately, I felt that not a lot sort of happens. There's a lot of banter back and forth, hilarious banter. That's another thing I wanted to say is that as I read this, because like last night I was in bed for a couple of hours finishing this up and I would just lay back and laugh. Shirley Jackson always has me laughing. She's so clever and she's so funny. So I was entertained throughout, but not a lot happened really. And I I did find one negative is that I found that I could put the book down and I wasn't in a hurry to get back to it. That's never good. But I made some notes in the back. Well, I'm sort of all over the place. One of the things is that one thing I love is they have a sundial, and they had ordered this, or the original Mr. Halloran had ordered the sundial, um, and they say different things on them. Theirs came and it says, "What is this world?" And I love that because my daughter and I are always saying to each other, "What is this world?" So I love that. And again, I made some notes here. I love that. I almost wonder if Shirley Jackson herself didn't wonder this. She talks a lot about reality being real. Is reality real? And are people real? Which I talked about in my review for Hangs a Man. But like right here on page 59, I love this. That I love this. That I'll just read this little part. Mary Jane, said Essex, "What is reality?" "What?" Mary Jane stared with her mouth open. "You mean something real, like something not in the movies?" "A dream world," Arabella supplied. Julia laughed. "Essex," she said, "what is real?" Essex bowed to her gravely. "I am real," he said. "I am not at all sure about the rest of you." So I love that because when my daughter and I talk about who's real, um, I say, "Well, I'm real." She says, "Well, I know I'm real." So, but anyway. Um, but anyway, back to Shirley Jackson, and a theme to a lot of her books is that the outside world is a scary place full of evil, and that you're safe inside your home, and then sometimes you aren't because sometimes there's evil that comes into the home or is in the home, as which also happens with this book. Also, there. Okay, so there's a huge cast of characters in this book. quite a lot of people, and they sort of make their entrances and their exits, and they're like at one point Gloria comes back, and I'm like, now who is Gloria? That was the only time I got confused. I know who everyone is, but yeah, there were a lot of characters, and some of them only had little small roles. I mean, you have like the staff, and you have Mrs. Halloran and the old man, Mr. Halloran, and Aunt Fanny, the sister, the one that received the prophecy, and little Fancy, the little girl. And she's just not in here enough, I feel, because she seemed to understand reality and the world better than anyone else. And but she wasn't in here a lot, but she was great. So there's a big cast of characters. Oh, and then there's also, I think it's on page 132. I read up until 132 before it really turned into a Shirley Jackson book for me. And that was when one of the girls named Julia, Mrs. Willows, I love it. She has two daughters, and she calls them her gals. Her girls. So that's one of her girls, Julia. And she gets a ride into the city. She's going to escape the house. She thinks it's all crazy, and Mrs. Halloran has set it up, the ride for her. And oh my gosh, it got so creepy. And I guess this is a spoiler. There'll probably be spoilers all in this, but so the book starts out fine, but then on page 132, when Julia goes into the city with this man who's just been hired to give her, he's one of the villagers, and he's been hired to give her a ride into town. And as she's in this fog, as they're driving into the town, and it's just fog and trees and dark, and she's in the car with this strange man, and he begins to talk about once, cutting the necks of little kittens and setting puppies on fire, pouring kerosene on them. And then she's terrified because it seems as though he has bad intentions for her with him. And she gets out of the car, and that is one of the creepiest, most haunting scenes, because she's in this fog, and the way Shirley writes it is so creepy. She's so great with creepy and evil and scary. And she's in this fog, and the man's in the car, but he can't see her. She doesn't want him to come get her. And the way she describes barely seeing a tree in the fog, and then the tree starts to get darker, and comes forward, and she can see the tree. Anyway, very scary scene. And anyway, I loved that. And trying to see what. Yeah, I wrote down it was a slow build. The book is a slow build, but a lot of funny and clever, banter back and forth between the people, and some things do happen, of course. But yeah, they meet another apocalyptic group called the True Believers, but they think a spaceship is coming for them. And Mrs. Halloran is like, I'm not getting on a spaceship. So, yeah, we're not interested in joining up with you guys. So I love a lot of this, too. I think I've said before, reminds me a lot. I think V.C. Andrews probably was very inspired by Shirley Jackson, because I think of V.C. Andrews' books and how they take place in a big, Gothic mansion, and then you have the villagers and the outside people and the staff, and yeah, so a lot of things did remind me too of V.C. Andrews, and one of the things I love too, again, another, I guess, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but Aunt Fanny has set up a staged apartment inside the mansion upstairs, hidden away. No one will ever even go in there. It's such a big, huge mansion. And she has put her parents' furniture and her childhood things. And it just reminded me of Citizen Kane and Rosebud. And Fancy also has her doll houses. And yeah, anyway, so Oh, and then they have a big party. They have a big party to say goodbye to the villagers before this, impending doom comes. And that was so great. That was so funny. There was a part where Essex, he is part of their staff. He was hired to catalog the library, sort of. It's not ever really clear what his role is, but he's part of the staff. And there's just a really funny part where he is just spreading gossip and lies and telling all the villagers these crazy, terrible things about people in the house that are not true, but they're just like mortified but enthralled. Anyway, it was really great. And also the ending, I won't give away the ending, but the ending was a really cool ending. But it also left you sort of wondering. And I thought I had it figured out when I finished it. But then last night I was in the shower and I was like, no, I actually think this happened. Then I thought I had that figured out. And then this morning when I woke up and I was drinking my coffee, I was thinking, no, actually, I think maybe this happened. So it was, it's really great that she keeps you thinking. And I hope this makes sense. These are just my thoughts. I enjoyed it. Sort of a slow read, but I love anything by Shirley Jackson. And now I'm on to The Haunting of Hill House, which I've never read, and that will be not the last. I think after that I have to read Life Among the Savages. But those are my thoughts, and very great. She's always funny. She's always I love Shirley Jackson. I've just discovered her. I love her very much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.